The first time Nnenna screamed in her husband's house, the walls did not echo, they swallowed the sound as though the compound itself had been waiting for it. At 25, Nnenna should have been choosing lace for her wedding gown, not being handed over like collateral. Her father had died with debts hanging over his name like vultures. When Chief Okeke, a wealthy, aging man with a voice like cracked wood, offered to wipe the debt clean in exchange for marriage, her uncles called it mercy. Her mother called it survival. Nnenna called it a burial. Not of her body, but of her dreams. Chief Okeke had two sons, Nnenna, 27, sharp-eyed and sharp-tongued, and Obinna, 25, quiet and observant, with a softness that did not belong in that house. From the day Nnenna stepped into the compound, Nnenna looked at her as though she were a thief. She wants father's properties, he would mutter loudly enough for her to hear. Watch her. Nnenna tried. God knew she tried. She cooked his favorite meals, greeted him respectfully, kept her head bowed. But hatred has no appetite for kindness. One afternoon, determined to end the silent war, she walked into Nnenna's room. "We cannot keep living like this," she said gently. "I am not your enemy." He locked the door. What happened next tore something inside her that would never fully mend. When she screamed, Obinna was outside washing his clothes. The bucket overturned as he ran. He forced the door open and dragged Nnenna off her. The brothers fell into a violent struggle, years of rivalry erupting at once. In blind fury, Nnenna grabbed a metal object from the table and struck Obinna's left ear. Blood. Shouting. Chaos. The fight ended with both men injured and Nnenna curled in a corner, shaking. Obinna later went to a pharmacy and treated his ear casually, dismissing the ringing as temporary. None of them knew the damage was permanent. When the chief returned and heard what had happened, disappointment darkened his face. Without hesitation, he made a decision. "Nnenna," he said coldly, "you will leave this house tomorrow. You will stay with my friend in the city. Learn sense." The next morning, as Nnenna packed, he leaned close to Nnenna and whispered, "I will come back for you." But as his car disappeared down the dusty road, she felt only relief. And gratitude. Obinna had saved her. From that day, something unspoken grew between them. Shared glances. Lingering silences. A bond forged in pain. Time softened their caution into affection. Affection into love. The night before Obinna was to leave the village for better opportunities in the city, Nnenna entered his room quietly. "Why does your face look so pale?" he teased. Tears answered for her. "Please don't go," she whispered. "Don't leave me here." He held her, feeling the tremble in her body. "I will come back for you," he promised. "I swear it." Their lips met, hesitant at first, then desperate. A knock thundered on the door. "My wife," the chief's voice boomed. "She's helping me pack," Obinna shouted. Nnenna left, heart pounding. The next morning, she couldn't bear to watch him leave. But Obinna slipped away from his father, ran to her room, found her crying. He lifted her face, kissed her, promised again, "Wait for me." Then he left. Days later, the chief demanded his rights as a husband. Nnenna refused. The argument escalated. In fear and struggle, the small knife she'd been using to peel oranges slipped from her shaking hand and plunged forward. Silence followed. The chief lay motionless. Horror swallowed her. She ran. Years passed. Nnenna fell into crime and was killed during a robbery. Obinna rose to fame in the city under the stage name Mr. Moon, becoming a celebrated actor adored by millions. His left ear never fully healed, though he hid it well. Nnenna reinvented herself as Tessie, a respected journalist. She buried her past so deeply she almost convinced herself it wasn't real. Until fate arranged an interview. Mr. Moon agreed to speak to Tessie, specifically Tessie. At a banquet before the interview, their eyes met. Shock froze her. She denied knowing him. Obinna left in anger. The next day, he abducted her, not violently, but with controlled fury. In a private room, he confronted her. "Who are you?" he demanded. She denied it again. He took her hand and placed it against his left ear. "I saved the girl from rape," he said quietly. "It cost me my hearing. I lost a brother and a father because of that girl. Tell me, how would you feel if she denied you?" Her knees gave way. "I didn't mean to kill him," she sobbed. "I didn't know about your ear. I'm sorry. I deserve any punishment." His hands tightened at her neck, not choking, but trembling. "I should hate you," he whispered. "But I can't." Her phone rang. Her boss reminded her of the interview with Mr. Moon. "Call him," Obinna said. Confused, she stared. "I'm Mr. Moon." The interview was tense. His questions pierced her like knives. But beneath them lay unresolved love. They kept meeting afterward. Anger dissolved into longing. Longing into fire. Then came betrayal. Obinna's mentor, Mr. Michael, promised him wealth and influence if he married his daughter, Ivana. The engagement was announced publicly. Tessie drank herself numb the night before the ceremony, unaware that the bar she chose was where Mr. Moon was meeting associates. He took her home. Pain spilled from her lips. One thing led to another. The next morning, she was gone. At the engagement party, Obinna looked at Ivana and said, "Forgive me, my heart belongs to someone else." He looked at his mentor and the crowd and murmured, "I can't do this, I can't do this." He quickly left the venue and went in search of Tessie. When Obinna found Tessie at the beach that night, the ocean was wild, crashing against the rocks as though it carried its own anger. "You should be celebrating," Tessie said, her voice hollow. "You chose power. You chose wealth." Obinna stood still, staring at her as though trying to memorize her face. "I chose survival," he said quietly. "Just like you did that night." The words hung between them. For the first time, neither of them reached for the other. "I loved you," he continued. "But every time I look at you, I see my father's blood. I hear the silence in my left ear. And I don't know if love is supposed to hurt this much." Tessie swallowed hard. "I live with that memory every day. Not a day passes that I don't wish I could undo it." The wind lifted her hair, but she stood firm. "Maybe we were never meant to end together," she whispered. "Maybe we were only meant to save each other and let go." Obinna's jaw tightened. For years, he had chased the idea of her, the girl he rescued, the love stolen by tragedy. But standing there now, he realized something painful. They were no longer those two young souls in the village. They had grown around their scars. "I can forgive you," he said slowly. "But I can't build a life on ashes." Tears slid down her cheeks, but she nodded. "That's the first honest thing we've said to each other." He stepped forward and wiped her tears gently, not as a lover, but as someone saying goodbye to a chapter. "I hope you find peace, Nnenna." "You too, Obinna." He turned and walked away, not looking back this time. Months later, the world was shocked when Mr. Moon publicly rejected the engagement and took a long break from acting. Instead, he started a foundation for women who survived assault, naming it the Silent Ear Initiative, symbolizing both his hearing loss and the voices that are often ignored. In interviews, he spoke about justice, forgiveness, and accountability. Tessie watched from afar. She, too, made a decision. During a live investigative broadcast, She confessed anonymously to being responsible for a past accidental death. She did not name names, but she surrendered herself to the authorities afterward, choosing truth over fear. The court ruled it involuntary manslaughter committed in self-defense. Considering the circumstances of abuse and attempted assault history within the home, she received a reduced sentence. Years later, when she was released, she walked out not as a fugitive of her past, but as a woman who had faced it. Obinna was there. Not with flowers. Not with promises. Just with quiet respect. They stood across from each other, no longer bound by secrecy, guilt, or desperation. "I'm proud of you," he said. "I'm proud of us," she replied. But this time, they did not rush into each other's arms. Some loves are not meant to be possession. Some are meant to be transformation. They walked in opposite directions that day, two survivors, no longer chained by what happened in that house long ago. And for the first time, the silence in Obinna's left ear did not feel like loss. It felt like peace.